Hello, my name is Szymon Kłos, and today I will show you recent improvements in JSDialogs, the backend for new sidebar and dialogs. First, what is JSDialogs? JSDialogs is a framework to share UI components between LibreOffice and Collabora Online. Thanks to that, we can improve both products at the same time, because when we add some new feature to the Collabora Online, it also appears in the LibreOffice. The general idea is very simple. We take the user interface component from the LibreOffice, we describe it in the abstract way as a JSON file format, then we send that JSON to the client's web browser, and then we use some builders to create new user interface from that description. We can use many builders to create different types of user interface. For example, on mobile devices we will see a simple and mobile-friendly wizard on the bottom of the screen, but when we use the desktop browser we will see the classic sidebar, for example. JSDialogs has a communication in both directions, so when user does some actions on the widget, message is sent back to the server, and the original controller processes this action and give us new JSON with the update. First, we used this approach to add advanced editing options to the mobile Collabora Online. Thanks to reusing sidebar from LibreOffice as a mobile-friendly wizard, we have new, very rich and very easy to use on touch devices wizard, which offers us a lot of editing options. For example, we can modify a chart. It's also context dependent, so when we select, for example, shape, we see the shape options. When we select the text, we see text options. And now, dialogs and new sidebar. In the recent year, I was focused first on the optimization of JSDialogs, because in the past we always sent JSON for the whole dialog on every single action. And now we have three types of messages. So first, when we open the dialog, we send the initial message with the full JSON. Then when we update only one widget, we send small update only for the updated content. And also when we do some smaller actions, like for example we change the selection inside an icon view, we send very tiny JSON with description of that action. It helped us to reduce the transfer size between the server and the client. Also, we receive the updates faster, and also now it's possible to update one widget while we typing in the other one, for example some input field, and we see the results in the real time. Second optimization was using the shared queue for messages, which is shared inside one dialog. So all the widgets add own messages to that one queue, where we can reduce number of messages, because we know that, for example, after the full update, the previous updates are no longer needed. Also, we do some lazy message generation, so inside the queue we keep only the information which widget was changed and what kind of an action was performed by user. and we generate JSON just before sending, so we know that the JSON is always up to date. After that, I implemented missing widgets. One of them was the icon view, which I also reused in the font work. It's very nice widget for showing custom previews, like in font work case, because it sends the entries one by one, not as a whole, like it was previously when big canvas for all the elements was used. Conversion to icon view helped us to reduce the transfer size, because now when we select some item, we send only the information about new position, not the whole canvas again. I also improved user experience for style previews in the notebook bar, where I also reused icon view. Now user can scroll the long list of styles instead of clicking on a button multiple times, what is much easier. Second missing widget was the tree view. Tree view is, I think, the most complex widget, because it can show content in a few modes. For example, as a plain list view, it can show the tree with checkboxes or without. It can show nodes on demand, and also it supports the drag and drop. Thanks to implementing that widget, we can now enable a pivot table creator. We also improved auto filter dropdown by using the JSDialogs for it, and also we added new features like defining and managing named ranges. In pivot table dialog, we can create the new pivot table using the drag and drop, because we have a list of available fields and we can move them between possible tree views. The biggest update in the recent Collabora Online is sidebar. Previously we used the big canvas, which was showing the images sent from the server. Now we converted that to reuse JSDialogs, and now we have native HTML controls. We can style them using CSS, so the app looks more consistent, and also it helps with user experience, because now we have native list boxes. So for example, on touch devices it's easier to scroll the list and select the correct one. Sidebar also supports many drop-downs, what also was implemented, and I also added new panels to the sidebar. For example, font work panel, which now is available also in the LibreOffice. That was the short preview of the recent improvements. I think the next steps are to reuse JSDialogs in the rest of the dialogs we have in the app, and that's all from me. Thank you for listening.